Hey guys, Roddy Walker here with another video for you guys today. Today we're gonna go over MyFICO, a couple new updates. I don't know if you guys have noticed recently, but it seems FICO has updated their app and added a few new things. I don't know if they've seen my video going over the difference between MyFICO and Credit Karma, but it seems like they wanted to kind of clear some things up because you know MyFICO, they're not, I guess, the most out there company. By the way, if you're watching this, MyFICO, please sponsor me. I know I've done a lot for you, and a lot of you guys might think that, you know, I might have gotten paid for getting everyone on the MyFICO. No, I haven't been paid a cent. You know, all of this has just been free knowledge, free content, just trying to help the financial world understand how these credit bureau softwares work, that work with these credit bureaus and whatnot, and lenders. So today I just kind of wanted to go over FICO 10 and FICO 10T, a couple new updates that have happened because things have definitely changed. So let's just go ahead and go into this article, which kind of tells a little bit more about FICO 10 and FICO 10T and what the difference are between the other versions and FICO 10 and 10T. So we'll go ahead and start off by checking this out. Let's check out this article by Investopedia. So here it says FICO 10 and FICO 10T. What are FICO 10 and 10T? FICO 10 and FICO 10T, collectively known as FICO Score 10 Suite, are the latest credit scoring models from FICO, formerly the Fair Isaac Corporation. According to the company, FICO 10 and FICO 10T are designed to outperform all previous versions. FICO 10 Suite is the newest FICO Score model, consisting of two scores, FICO 10 and FICO 10T, which I'm actually going to add to that real quick. There's actually 4 new FICO 10 scores because this article is just a tad bit dated, but we're still going to go through it just so we can get all the information that we need from it. Okay, so the FICO 10T credit score includes trended data, which looks at individual consumers' payment and debt history for the previous 24 plus months to help calculate their credit scores. According to FICO, the new model is the most comprehensive scoring model created by the company to date. So this is supposed to be supposedly the best. Isn't that funny though? Like, isn't every score supposed to be better than the previous when they come out with a new one, right? So FICO Score 10 and FICO Score 10T don't replace other credit scoring models such as FICO Score 2, 4, 5, 8, and 9, which lenders can still use in making credit approval decisions. And actually we'll touch on that quite a bit because I know on the channel we've definitely touched on all the different versions and why lenders still use some of the older ones and newer ones. So we'll definitely continue touching on that once we go into the app. So let's go ahead and break this down a little bit because the goal is understanding what FICO 10 and what FICO 10T is. The FICO Score 10 Suite is designed to be the most predictive and comprehensive credit score model developed by FICO to date, allowing lenders to better measure risk for decision making. A key feature of 10T is to use the trended credit bureau data on individual borrowers to calculate their credit scores, providing a more complete picture of their potential credit risk. According to FICO, the new credit scoring models could help lenders reduce default rates on credit cards and auto loans by 10%. So that's pretty good. You know, obviously that's their job to help lenders identify risk. And if they can prevent any defaults, obviously that's good for business for the lenders. They're claiming that it's also going to help potentially reduce defaults by about 17% in mortgages. That's pretty good, right? You know, that's almost literally 1/5 of people that would default are now not going to. So that's a pretty good percentage. FICO Score 10T represents a new take on credit scoring with the use of trended data, which looks at how consumers have managed their financial accounts over the previous 24 months or longer, including things such as the balances that they carried from month to month or consolidating their debts during that time. This is meant to give lenders more insight into how someone handles their finances. FICO 10 and 10T scores can be used by lenders to access credit risk when a person applies for credit cards, car loans, personal loans, and mortgages. FICO Score 10 and FICO Score 10T won't replace the earlier versions of FICO credit scores, which we all notice. However, lenders can continue to use those old models. I don't see what their point is in that, sorry. Many lenders still rely on FICO Score 8 scoring model, which is one of the most widely used scores. It's FICO Score 8 still. For instance, credit approvals with products such as credit cards, personal loans, mortgage loans, lenders may use different versions such as FICO Score 2, 4, and 5. Car loans can use the same options for 2, 4, and 5, or FICO Score 8. Tip: when you apply for a mortgage, lenders can pull your FICO credit scores from each 3 major bureaus, but typically they only use the average middle score. So that's something you guys already should know by now. I know I've mentioned that in videos. How credit scores work. FICO scores are meant to help lenders, such as banks and credit issuers. I know I mentioned this in like my very first video ever, but if you're wondering how your FICO score is factored in, here's the 5 factors just one more time. So payment history, that's 35% of the factor. Credit utilization, that's 30%. Credit age is going to be 15%. Credit mix is going to be 10%. And new credit is going to be 10%. Because payment history carries the most weight, paying your bills on time each month can help establish a positive credit history and potentially improve your FICO scores. Paying late, on the other hand, can damage FICO scores, which we all know this. Worth noting that delinquencies may hurt your credit scores even more under the FICO 10 and FICO 10T models. Remember when I told you that the FICO 10 and FICO 10T models are more strict on things like delinquencies and payment histories. Any missed payments, your score is looking to drop significantly. This is a good incentive though to help develop a habit for paying bills on time. But bottom line, how to improve your FICO 10 and FICO 10T scores. You're going to want to pay bills on time each month, keep credit card balances as low as possible, hold off on applying for new credit, keep older credit accounts open, use a mix of different credit types. Just to break this down, guys, these metrics and these versions, they're not too different. It's just some of them penalize you a little bit more than others. So what I mean by that is they're all like different algorithms that will give you scoring, you know, but one might minus 20 points, one might minus 10 points. They're all going to affect you differently based on which score it is, and lenders use different versions. If you can find versions of FICO scores that lenders are less harsh on, you're going to have a better time getting approved. Or if you just have good credit, you won't have a problem at all because all your scores, you know, across all boards are going to be solid. We are going to actually, let's go ahead and pop over to the MyFICO app. Just to warn you guys, full disclosure, MyFICO Score has taken a dump, but it's for a reason. I've been using a lot of my personal credit to invest in real estate. What I would tell you is, if you could get business credit, get business credit. Now I'm transferring all my personal credit into business credit, so disregard my scores. They're all temporary. I'm getting them all put into business credit, so just don't pay attention to that for now. Just pay attention to what I'm actually telling you. Okay, so as we've been through this before, FICO Score 8 is the most widely used one, right? But one thing we've noticed is FICO has updated their app. They have added FICO 10. So when you go into FICO 10, now you see that we have FICO 10.2, but then we have this tab right here, versions. So boom, it's a lot easier to look into the versions. And we can see all FICO 10 is newly released, right? Because FICO 10 is brand new. But you have FICO 10T and you have FICO Auto Score 10 and FICO Score Bank Card 10. So you have all 4 of them now. We already know what the bank card is because I went over this video before, where there's industry specific and then there's base FICO scores. So FICO Score 10 is obviously a base FICO score. All the rest of the, or no, FICO Score 10T, from what I understand, is also a base score. It just pulls certain data from like, you know, spending habits and things that more recently, from what I understand, is what 10T is. It's more harsh. It's more of a strict on what you're doing, and it can catch certain things. You know, when I go through these different versions, I'm seeing how they're affecting my score, and one thing I've noticed is 10T is definitely harsher. The score is definitely way down. My credit looks horrible in 10T. Matter of fact, my credit looks horrible in all FICO Score 10. But like I told you, the way I'm utilizing it is I have a high utilization right now. I haven't missed any payments, but I've just used a ton of my credit. So it just comes with, you know, obviously having a business and having to do certain things to help the growth of the business. I don't recommend that to the average consumer. I recommend that to people who don't have any other option when they're trying to grow their business and they're working with hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay, so next we're gonna look at what you guys are already familiar with to kind of show you how different. You already see my scores are 632, 622, and 625. You can see in the FICOs, they were all 500. So FICO 10 is stricter by any means. But the good news is there's not a lot of adoption with the FICO 10 score right now. Not a lot of lenders are using it when factoring in your approvals. If we go to mortgages, they're still very much, which my mortgages are poor too. So just bear with me. 5, 4, and 2 is still very heavily used for mortgage. FICO Score 8 is still very heavily used in the auto world. I think FICO Score 5, 4, and 2 is less used now in the auto world. So that's something that I think has changed quite a bit. One thing I did notice though, in credit cards, we can see that widely used now is FICO Score 9 and FICO Score 8, which is cool because FICO Score 9, you look at it, I'll pull it up. Look at that, my scores are better right there, you know? So you can see that FICO Score 9 is not as strict as FICO Score 8 and 10. You know, it's not as much, it's not as strict. So if you can find lenders that are using FICO Score 9, that's still a great opportunity. Okay, so just be ready because you know that the first person to adopt it is probably gonna be the credit cards because they were the first one to widely use FICO Score 9. So just prepare yourself. It's very likely that these lenders are going to start transitioning over to a new system, which means credit cards could become easier to get if they transfer more over to FICO Score 9. And you know, the same goes to the cars and the same goes to possibly even the mortgage one day transferring over. Just be ready for it. You know, it's an opportunity for all of us to really get more credit because FICO Score 10 is going to be strict. So we got to make sure that we prepare our credit profiles and take advantage of the benefits of FICO Score 9. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them at the bottom. I hope today you learned a lot. I hope you got a lot of great information out of the video today. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. Roddy Walker, out.